Good afternoon and welcome to the Rotary Club of Gainesville Tuesday meeting at the Cade Museum. Please be sure to silence your cell phones. And if you're watching on YouTube, please register your participation by sending an email to info@rotarygainesville.org. Please welcome Brendan Shortley to lead us in song and pledge.
Thank you for that smattering of applause. Your checks will be in the mail. Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, every time I've done this, once every, 2 years when they let me, I like to tell you a little bit more about my life. And I did actually have a job working on a farm. And we always had a dilemma. Some of these cows would just not give milk, no matter how hard you tried. And we always asked ourselves, is that a milk dud or an utter failure? Okay. All right, please. All right, thank you. Thank you. Please tip your waitress, so I'll be here all week. All right, let's all sing together, America the Beautiful. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesties above the fluted plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. I guess I was too loud, sorry. And now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may wait and stay standing, actually, for the invocation by Ernie Hall. Ernie, please come up.
Thank you. I deserve every bit of that. That joke was another failure. It's a great day to be alive and being a Rotarian, isn't it? It is. All right. Let's bow our head in prayer. Lord of the universe, you have given most of mankind a strong desire to do good and to be honest and to serve others and to faithfully fulfill their obligations to their neighbors. Help us as Rotarians and humans to do good. Help us as Rotarians and humans to be honest and ethical in all of our dealings. Help us as Rotarians and humans to serve others. And help us as Rotarians and humans to faithfully fulfill our obligations as neighbors to our community, our nation, and to our world. We ask that you bless each and every one here today. Bless the food that's nourishing our bodies. Hear our prayer, O Lord, we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Ernie. Thank you, Brendan. We'd invite guests and traveling Rotarians to remain standing to introduce yourselves to our club.
Sir. Hi, Rotarians. Ryan Kern here. I've got with me a guest, Oliver Devlin. Oliver is a relatively recent transplant from Kansas. Was not familiar with Rotary and heard me talking about service work and decided to come check our meeting. And he works for a small company you may have heard called Zoom. Please welcome Oliver.
Good afternoon, my fellow Rotarians. I'm Dana Nemeny, and today I get the great honor on behalf of Linda Reinhardt to introduce you to Barbara Gamble, who's joining us. She is retired from Delta.
Thank you both for joining us today. We have a couple announcements, quick, from Dwight McKee and Philip Crutchfield.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Here at the #1 Gainesville Club. Want to bring you to your attention. On your tables, we have little sponsorship opportunities for the Seafood Spectacular. Remember to save the date for the Seafood Spectacular. It's November 21st, which is the Thursday before Thanksgiving. And tickets and sponsorships are on this sheet right here. And Wes and I and Wilbur will begin selling tickets next week. So anyway, thank you for all. We're looking forward to the event. Take care.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Philip Crutchfield. I'm representing the Ethics and Business Committee, and today is opening day for nominations. You'll see on your table that we've got some handouts for you. This is our Ethics and Business Award nomination. I want to make sure it's different than the Service from Self Award. This honors, recognizes businesses as well as business owners in the community that consistently demonstrate strong commitment to the highest ethical practices in all facets of their businesses. So we want to be able to recognize those people. We've been doing this award since 2011 in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce. We also work with the Warrington School of Business and the Student Ethics Ambassador, so it's a good way to cross over with some future potential Rotarians and involve UF to understand Rotary and what it means to be a Rotarian. So I want to make sure you're aware of the deadlines. I had a slide here for us. Forgive the 2024. It's actually the 2025. I had to redo all my printouts too. It's 2025 Ethics and Business Award. Nominations open today and they go through November 8th. So we need them by November 8th. The quality of our candidate pool is what dictates the quality of this award. So it's very important that we try to get as many nominations as possible. You don't have to be a Rotarian to nominate, and you don't have to be a Rotarian to receive the award. So please connect with your connections around town. And let's see if we can do a great job on this. We're looking forward to it. Getting the students and UF involved, and then coming back to our committee and making the selection. So thank you very much.
And now please join me in welcoming our president, Ryan Thompson.
Well, thank you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, guests. The bulletin and website, I don't know if you've noticed, they got a little fresh look. You know, go ahead and raise your hand if you've taken notice. It looks really good. I'd like to thank Ryan Kern and Amber Miller for putting that together. You know, a couple of things behind the scenes that we've been working on. That's our, public image. Philip Crutchfield, you've been doing an excellent job making sure things get posted to our Facebook, and appreciate your work on the Ethics Committee too. A lot of things going on at club. So thank you, everybody. Today I'd like to introduce you to Kathleen Weinert. She's a local realtor, wife, mother, and she's been a Alachua County resident for over 22 years. Please come to the stage for your craft talk.
I'll just pull this down here, and I don't know if you'll have to fix the... Oh, good, I made it on screen. Not too short. And no pressure today. I'm told I'm supposed to use the timer, which is something new we're implementing, so I'm really going to have to stick to my 3 minutes. I'll try not to go over. So thank you so much, Ryan, and thank you to everyone here. You've all been so kind and welcoming since I joined the club earlier this year. As Ryan mentioned, I'm a realtor, wife, and mother. I also volunteer in many roles in our community. The major theme of my life so far has been service, so you'll hear a bit about that today. My professional life has been a journey of self-discovery, beginning in the nonprofit sector and moving into the fast-paced world of residential real estate. I remember as a middle schooler going with my mom and her Bible study group to a homeless shelter to serve dinner for the first time. That experience deeply impacted me, so much so that helping meet people's needs and making the world better has been a through line in all of my work since then. I truly believe every person is called to care for their neighbor, the marginalized, and the overlooked. In high school, I opened a student chapter of Amnesty International. Then in 2002, I came to UF as an undergraduate student where I studied nonprofit management and religion. During my last 2 years of college, I spent nearly every Friday night downtown Gainesville in the courtyard of Holy Trinity Episcopal Church, serving dinner to our homeless neighbors as the leader of a student-run volunteer homeless ministry. My husband David was also volunteering there during that time, and that's how we met. After graduation, I worked in the nonprofit sector in Gainesville for almost a decade doing project management and event planning. And although I gained a wealth of experience and loved the company and my colleagues, the work and schedule didn't allow me to make as much of a direct impact as I had envisioned. Now in my real estate era, I'm creating a new avenue for service, building a business that can be an instrument for good, both in helping families through major transitions in their lives and making an impact through philanthropic initiatives and supporting local causes. Moving into real estate opened up many doors for me to help people one-on-one in a tangible way, guiding them through some of the biggest and most stressful experiences of their lives, while offering wisdom and expertise, a calming presence, and making the process as smooth as possible. Cultivating community and extending hospitality to my customers is another goal of mine. I especially love helping relocation clients get to know the area and connect with others in a meaningful way. In addition to my full-time work as a residential real estate agent, I'm the current chair of the Grants Committee for the Gainesville-Alachua County Association of Realtors Giving Circle, and I serve on the board of directors for the Christian Study Center. Of course, my work is just part of who I am. The loves of my life are my 3 guys. My husband, David, and I have 2 fascinating little boys that keep us on our toes. David and I got married in 2010 and welcomed our first son, Joseph, in 2015. In 2017, Benjamin joined our family. Being their mom is one of my greatest joys. My family and I attend Servants of Christ Anglican Church, and we can often be found at parks and events around Alachua County. In my free time, I enjoy reading, cooking, listening to music, volunteering at my boys' school, and spending time with my family and friends. My passion for service is what drew me to Rotary Club. I'm excited to be part of this group and have the opportunity to make an impact in Alachua County and worldwide with all of you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, it was a wonderful craft talk. Really appreciate you joining the club, and here's a 4-way test plaque for your office.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
So much, Ryan.
At this time, I'd like to invite Guy Joplin to introduce today's speaker.
All right. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. We actually have 2 speakers today. I will be introducing one, and that person will be introducing the other speaker, so that's exciting. I'm very excited to introduce our very own Jacob Atem. Dr. Jacob Atem is one of the Lost Boys of Sudan, as well as a public health practitioner and advocate for refugees. Jacob was growing up in Mar, South Sudan, when one morning in 1991, as a 6-year-old, he was caring for the family's animals, heard gunfire and screaming. When he ran to see what happened, he saw his village on fire. The rebel forces from northern Sudan had invaded, and Jacob knew that his family members had either been killed or taken into slavery. He, along with the other boys whose villages had been destroyed, started walking. As they trekked through the wilderness, they endured malnutrition, dehydration, exhaustion, and worse. Of the estimated 26,000 to 30,000 children who started the journey from South Sudan, about 10,000 died before reaching the refugee camps in Kenya. During the nearly 2,000-mile journey, Jacob saw boys die from communicable diseases due to the lack of vaccinations. The refugee camps where they ended up were overcrowded and also prone to more outbreaks of disease. After 9 years at Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya, Jacob was resettled in a foster home in Lansing, Michigan. He found himself in a classroom for the first time as a high school freshman. Jacob became interested in biology and chose it as his major in college, thinking that someday he might return to the refugee camps as a doctor. In his senior year of college, with a fellow Lost Boy, Jacob co-founded Southern Sudan Healthcare Organization, which provides health education and healthcare through a medical clinic. After sitting down with his advisor to plan his next steps after graduation, Jacob learned about the field of public health. The more he learned, the more he saw this as a way to help the vulnerable populations he left behind in Africa. Jacob earned his MPH at Michigan State University and then completed a PhD in environmental and global health at the University of Florida. His dissertation was titled Characterization of Risk Factors, Morbidity, and Mortality Associated with Diarrheal Disease Among Children Under 5 in East African Refugee Camps. As a postdoctoral fellow at the Center for Humanitarian Health, Jacob has served as teaching assistant and contributed to research on integrating refugees into national health systems. His perspective as a former refugee was valuable in both of those roles. Jacob's journey from South Sudan has in many ways taken him back there. He saw and lived the public health problems of refugees on his way to a career in public health. Now he wants to be part of the solution. He has been helped in so many ways by others, and to be able to give back by helping people in the US, in Africa, and someday around the world is his greatest gift. Please, as always, help me welcome our fellow Rotarian, Jacob Atem.
Well, thank you so much. Oh, here's a clicker. Guys, that was very kind of you to say those kind words, but good afternoon, fellow Rotarian. I will try not to be emotional, but let me just say, this club means so much to me. And here's why I said it means so much to me. I'm going to start with Matthew Bradley. I don't know if he's here today. Thank you so much. And here's why. If you remember, during COVID days, we were upstairs. I was invited to be just a guest speaker. 2 weeks after that, my good friend, and I call him mentor, is here. If you can raise your hand, Tony Barr. Thank you so much. You know, sometimes you're being invited as a guest speaker, and Tony, we were at lunch, and he asked this question that was a bit strange to me. Have you considered joining Rotary? That was 3 years ago, by the way. And it kind of dawned on me. I'm like, what kind of question is that, Tony? He knew I just spoke. When I said this club means so much to me, Tony went beyond just recruiting. He first invested in me almost the whole year. He actually paid for my membership. And thank you for allowing me to be here. David Gracie. Where's David? Thank you so much. I will try to hold it in. I know I don't normally cry. But David Gracie, I remember one year, I was so excited. I mean, when you drink the Kool-Aid or Rotary, you don't stop. And I'm young, you know. I remember one year, my first Rotary International. You know, some of you who are president, you get this 1,200 as a president. David gave me that money to attend my first Rotary Club. And it means so much to me, David. Thank you so much. It was a ton of experience. That was in Houston. And I was so excited. And then come Gregory. Oh, I cannot even say it. Let's just say Greg. Where's Greg? Thank you, Greg. Wow, then come Greg. And this is just this club. There was opportunity to do a project. And one of the foundation chair lady came here and talked. It was like, hey, there is a project now. If there's somebody that can match a 5K, you can do this project. So me and Greg put together incredible, in a short time we had a project to implement providing training traditional birth attendant in the refugee camps. And I remember another club member, Anonymous, got 5K, match it, and I mean, me and Greg and the whole team, thank you. We work hard and we implemented that project. And you can see Ryan, again, you guys giving me opportunity to be a speaker. It's just, I cannot thank you enough, all of you, and the members that not just only support the Rotary Project, but you always been kind to me, all of you. You attended the gala. And so with that being said, now that I got my my Rotary as a member, this is a family talk, out of the way, I just want to say that whatever you do, some of us, I would consider myself young. I always say kids are watching. When I have 3 boys, they always watch me. Everything I said, good or bad, they would say it. So I've been watching you guys as the club. And I called, especially the senior citizen. Jimbo and I were actually presenting at Fern Needle Beach other day, and I ran into Coach Roy Benson. And today I told Wes, he's like, yeah, I was in his class. He was part of this club. And we bonded, even though he came different time. Like, I'm in that club too. So I am really inspired by all of your work. Richard Allen, I don't know where is Richard. Thank you so much. Your project that is in Colombia, trust me, we are trying to replicate it in South Sudan since I got to know Richard. So, where is my good friend? If I could go back out, okay. Jimbo, come here. This is Jimbo, or let's say James Skiles. And Jimbo, no. Jimbo and I, first of all, we went to the same church. And the second of all, we never talk about Rotary until Tony said that. But then he is in downtown Rotary Club. So we've been friends for a long time. And Jimbo and I are a tag team today. As you can see, we are brothers.
We are brothers. We have a different mom.
Mom, yes.
Right.
But we're brothers.
Right.
And our dad?
We have the same father, right?
Yes.
Paul Harris.
Paul Harris. So, he is my co-host today, and we're going to talk about 3 things. Improving water and agriculture in South Sudan. I say WAG, okay? And again, why I say Richard Allen, we not only do healthcare, we now, if you remember the project we've been doing with Sustainable Cambodia, that is the model. It takes a long time, but that's the model that we adapt. So this is Jimbo. You guys might know him, but we're gonna talk about our global grant that Downtown Rotary Club is actually leading. And this is the beauty of Rotary, that teamwork, collaboration. And so, with that being said, he's timing me. As Guy introduced me about the Lost Boy, I am so grateful to here today to be alive because many of my fellow Lost Boys didn't make it. But what has happened in the past made me a stronger person. 33 years ago, my world was turned upside down. I was really young. I had witnessed the thing that the little kids should never had to witness. One of the toughest one was, I remember one incident that I was hiding near the Nile when the attackers attacked around 1 a.m. And I was hiding in a small swamp near the Nile. And then from 1 a.m. to 1 p.m., we didn't have water. Kids would start crying. Our area was exposed. I remember when the enemy came in and I freaked out. So I jumped into the Nile. And I was literally drowning. I was just holding on to a small branch going up and down. And I guess when God said, it's not your time to die, it's true, it's not your time to die. I remember this lengthy man, the South Sudanese are tall, grabbed my hand while I'm drowning put me down, and he went underneath the Nile. He swam away, never seen him up to today. The next thing I know is the enemy had already captured me. The enemy was stomping on my head. We were captured and we were marched into an open field. Didn't wear any clothes. To my left corner, my 7-footer cousin was killed to the left. And since that time I saw him, I would be traumatized. He always chased me in my dreams until a few years ago. After that, what the enemy would do, they will make the women carry ammunition. And any boy, they want to make sure they kill. And you know why. Because boys were most likely to revenge. I remember vividly 2 gentlemen holding AK-47. They were debating to kill me or not. And by God's grace, out of 50 of us that were captured, only me and my stepmother were let go. I don't know why God saved me at that time. I've seen a lot, from eating dirt to your own urine to just walking thousands of miles. And here's one thing that I always tell myself: never give up. I was determined, because I remember kids would just sit down and they lose hope, right? When you lose hope, you have nothing to rely on. And finally, my sister and nieces were captured. And I came to a Kenya refugee camp. I call an open prison. We will be given food rations for about 2 weeks. And then we don't have food. What do? You eat once, spend 2 more days without eating. I was hopeless. My world, I really thought nobody really cares, until the United States of America gave me and the Lost Boys an opportunity. What they did is somebody went and visited us, and that person wrote a letter to the congressman and said it would be great to bring the Lost Boys of Sudan to this country called Sudan, to America. Think about it, especially those who do advocacy. Sometimes you are passionate about something, and then you're like, oh, it's just me. Nobody really cares. This person was able to lobby the Congress, both the Democrat and Republican, and they put in the largest resettlement in American history. That was good to bring the Lost Boys here.
Did you say Democrats and Republicans?
Yes, they did not hear me that. Both Democrat and the Republican thought it was good to bring the Lost Boys here. That, my friend, is America I know. America that strive for the better, and America that give people opportunity. And I was resettled in Michigan in a foster care. And I remember the first time I came to Michigan, I'd never seen snow. When I watched the TV, the animal is talking, and when I watched The Lion King, it said, Hakuna Matata. And I'm like, wow. I know the language because I just came from Kenya, but I'm like, how did the animals somehow were very smart to go on the TV, and the concept to see the animal is talking to me was just above myself. Somebody tell me that we went on the moon. And I'm like, okay, you guys stop lying to me. I don't see the ladder. How did you go to the moon? So I barely speak English. But this is the beauty of this country. You come with nothing, and if you're empowered people, you don't need a lot of people to believe in you. I didn't have mom and dad. Only in America is a refugee could come and go to the best universities, Michigan State, UF. I did my postdoc at Johns Hopkins University. Only in this country is refugee is given opportunity, not money, opportunity. And that's one thing that when I brag about America, I know that's how we used to be. Now you ask me about now, you go do your own research. But the America I know was America that we were so humble to give an opportunity. So that's a little bit of my story. But now, when I came back, remember everything before Rotary, I didn't realize everything that I was doing is Rotary until I joined Rotary. I co-founded Southern Sudan Healthcare Organization with one thing. I feel like God has been helping me through other people. Every time my cousin, the time that I was supposed to be dead, I'm not dead. My foster mom, I waited for 6 months. Nobody didn't want to be a foster care. So I didn't have mom and dad. So I'm like, I don't know what's good and what's bad. But one thing I was certain is I said I have many fathers and many mothers. I adapt to the person that I deem is a mother who give me advice. I adapt to a person that I deem is a good father, and I just take all that in. When my foster mom gave me opportunity from sleeping on the floor to like my own house, I told them my priority now shifted. I want to be educated, and I want to give back to the village that was once destroyed. That village is Mar. So the first, I don't know if you can see it, maybe, oh, it's red, so you cannot see it. But the first to the left is the village. Mar is the first clinic that we built with just $25 in 2008. We started with $25 and it cost $800,000. And then in 2018 actually, there was a flooding. So on the bottom, you can see left is the Mangala IDP camp. When they came there was no water, clean water. Kids would go to the Nile and they would be eaten by crocodiles. So I sent out the email to my donors, and one donor was able to build a small well. Now we have 59,000. And this is why you can see the amount of water consumption has increased. And this is the small clinic that we just did. And by the way, that grant I was telling you that we implemented here, this is the building right there to the right. And we have the solar system, the equipment are in there. Last year we saw 461 babies being born. That's the maternity ward that our club has been helping. Okay, so our previous work, you remember, this is what we did right here with traditional birth attendant. Our club, the money that we got with the district, with anonymous donor, we trained them. As I speak with you right now, things are really worse in the Sudan, at the border. So if you remember, during the district, our district 6970 gave us about 15,000. I have a medical staff right now at the border of Sudan and South Sudan. There are 38,000 Sudanese refugees that we are helping right now, and they dire our need. These, again, from this club and other clubs that has helped us. So with that being said, I'm going to bring my good friend, my brother from Paul Harris, to talk about the evolution of SSHCO and WAG.
That's for you, not for me. So, so thank y'all for allowing me to be here. I was here back this spring and shared some of this with you before, so it may look familiar. One thing I want to clarify, when he was pointing out the pictures of the IDP camp, and he mentioned there's 59,000 people in just one pump, not 59,000 pumps. So that's kind of where we came into play with our Wine to Water event that you're familiar with. Y'all have supported. I know Jay's here and he's being a sponsor again. Where did Jay go? So yeah, he had to go. Okay. Anyway, we're talking about Jay. But our Wine to Water event, the West Skiles Water Stewardship Awards, is coming up. And what I want to do is just briefly highlight again how we came together. Which one do I push here? It's October 8th. On your tables, there's a flyer, it has a QR code that if you would like to, not that one, it's the wine to water one up there. We didn't rehearse all this. So I'll catch you out the door if you'd like to come. It's a wonderful event. Y'all are familiar with it. I've talked about it before. Basically, we recognize our sponsors. We have good food and fellowship and beer provided by First Magnitude, along with some tasty wines. We present the West Skiles Water Stewardship Award to a nonprofit, a for-profit business, and an individual that has practiced good water stewardship. And then we have a keynote speaker who this year is Alan Skinner. Alan happened to be a close friend of Wes's, and he'll share some personal stories along with his changing career from being a mechanical engineer to a soil scientist, which is an important part of water conservation in the agricultural area. So that's a little bit about our event, and I'd love for y'all to be here.
And the event is here.
The event is here 2 weeks from today in the evening. So y'all can come to lunch, hang out, and come to our event in the evening. You don't have to cook all day. We'll take care of you. And these are just some pictures of Wes that I've shared with y'all before. And you know a little bit about his background and some of the famous people he worked with and his cover shot on National Geographic. We did this presentation last week up in Virginia Beach, and they don't know about this, so we talked about these things a little bit more. But y'all have seen this, and you know about this. And if you don't, you can ask me. So, but we've always looked for an international partner to share the funds that we've raised from this event. And through our friendship at church and through some conversations about the need for water, additional water at his camps in this facility, we decided to partner with Jacob. And who could not decide to partner with Jacob, right? For someone that has survived and done the things that he's done, to go from a homeless child without parents to the United States, his leadership capabilities, his desire to serve his people is just off the charts. I'm afraid to go to Yellowstone and walk through the park at nighttime because of the bears. And this guy traveled for months through Africa. And if you think the survivor shows on TV are difficult, this is the real survivor here. So we're really pleased to partner with him and his organization. They already have personnel on the ground, so it made it an easy choice for us to go, let's partner with Jacob and let's figure out what needs to be done. Thank you. So this is our logo. We're calling it WAG for short because if we said the whole name that we had to put on the global application, you never remember it. Just remember, like a happy dog wagging its tail, we're happy to be doing this with Jacob. And what we're going to do is a combination of increasing the water supply by adding some additional high-speed, high-volume pumps that can also provide water to a hydroponic farm and to an aquaculture pond. So not only will we be able to bring fresh or more water for sanitation needs, for basic living needs, but also to supplement the food that's necessary to feed 40,000 neighbors that happen to move into your backyard and survive the wars that are going on. Where's our little video? Oh, there it is. So that's just a little preview. The pictures you saw of the hydroponic farm that's under construction is another project that Angela Tinbrock, who was our speaker last year, is working on. Angela is a Rotarian. She's a member of the Wash New Zealand Club, even though she happens to live in St. Augustine and is the mayor of Marineland, believe it or not. You're talking about God's divine, work. I saw her on the news, Jacksonville News, probably 3 years ago, and it took me a year to get a hold of her to come speak to our club. And then when she told me about what she was doing and how it tied in with what we kind of wanted to do, it was just meant to happen. And so she has actually already been to Southern Sudan and has done the assessment and interviewed the people and is working with the local airport Rotary Club, Juba Airport Rotary Club, who is the host partner. So we've already done the groundwork to get this project underway, and we're in the process of now raising the funds so that we can go to Rotary International and get some matching grants. So there's our three objectives that we have already stated. It's the number one, high-speed pump, number two, hydroponic farm, and then build the aquaculture ponds as well, the fish ponds.
And now, on your table, you will see the commitment. There's a QR code, and as you can see, I'm proud of this club for inviting us, and as a member, I want to, even this project, there's already some of our members here who have already contributed and support. So my, maybe it's bias, next dream is to see Rotary Club of Gainesville to be a partner there. Not yet, because I haven't talked to our president. But with that being said, I am just so humble and grateful for this club that I would love to leave a few minutes for questions. I'm pretty sure if you have questions at this moment, we are ready to answer, and I'm gonna just leave there, but on the table you might find this. Yes, Richard Allen.
Hi, thank you, Jacob. Yeah, your story is just so incredible, and you are so incredible. Number one, thank you for being part of our club. Thank you for being a Rotarian. On the global grant, what's the timing on that? I know, we are hoping to get as many people as possible to pledge.
Yes.
When does the pledge come due? Do you have insight into the timeline?
So there's an online application we did for the pledge. I think the good news with the Rotary, with the international, it's kind of deal anytime, but it's how prepared are you? So we did the application. We haven't submitted yet because one, we are getting our numbers, our budget, but really it's about 265,000. So far, with support of the club here and others, roughly we have 40,000?
Yeah, we're right at 40,000 and hope to do another 10 from this year's event. That's really without going out and doing a lot of seeking. But to answer your question, Richard, we will take a donation this year or next year. There is some strategy as far as district matching funds that we might be doing this in 3 stages. And while we have 3 steps, we're still seeking some consultation on that, but it doesn't have to be today. A pledge will certainly help when we send in the applications, let people know what they're willing to give.
Yeah, that's great. And the match that you get, so this is a global grant, right? So you get a match from the district potentially, and then another match from RI, right?
Correct.
So what's that total match?
We think that from the math that we know, if we can get to about 100 total that we can raise, we can get to the 260 with matches.
So everybody that's contributing, they're actually getting 2.5 times what they contribute, right?
That's I love your
Okay.
suggestion.
Right, right.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good.
And that is coming from the veteran. When we say we're going to learn from Richard, we are following you, sir. Thank you.
I'll mention one other thing about our event. I put a sample of Fracture has been our partner in providing one of Wes's photos, and we give that to our sponsors. But we also will be auctioning one of those off if you cannot attend the event next on October 8th, 2 weeks from today, and would like to make a donation. You can use the square on the flyer on your table to make a donation by buying a raffle ticket, and you may win something. If you can't attend, make sure someone is there to claim your prize for you, but we can accept donations. All the profits from this year's event is dedicated to our global project. So you can either use that code to make a direct donation for the grant, or you can do something through the Wine to Water event as well.
And just final way to give, if you want, you can also give to our Rotary Club. Make a check too, because it's easy to do that, or if it is a large sum for the taxes purposes, you could also make a check to Yoke Foundation. Yoke Foundation, that's another option. Other than that, I see President Ryan, thank you for the opportunity. And if you have questions, I will be around. And thank you all for being such a supportive.
Well, thank you very much, Jacob. I'd like to present you and Jimbo with a certificate for speaking with us today. We'll make a donation to the Child Center for Early Learning in your honor. Thank you very much. It's very touching and a great opportunity to help those in Sudan. So thank you, Sunrise Club and Jacob. I echo Richard's remarks. Jacob, you've been a wonderful Rotarian, and proud to have you as a member of our club. The speaker for next week, another exciting program, Patrick Young, a former UF basketball player, will be speaking with us about his time at the University of Florida and beyond. The quote of the day, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that do." Steve Jobs. The Rotary Reading Safari drawing, 535. 535. Do we have a winner? All right. Congratulations, Wes. All right. Everybody stay safe this week. Meeting's adjourned.